tonight we have a presentation from RG&E concerning plans that RG&E has for a significant gas main replacement project along Winton Road in Brighton, scheduled to begin, I believe, in April. Now, later on tonight's agenda, the town board will be asked to set a public hearing to consider a local law that will allow a temporary amendment to the town's noise law to allow that portion of the work on this project that is in the immediate 12 Corners area to be done at night. That request is being made because both the state and Monroe County Department of Transportation have expressed concerns as to the impact of this work on not only on Winton Road, which of course is a county road, but also on Elmwood Avenue, which is also a county road, and on Monroe Avenue, which is a state road. Obviously, road construction work has noise, light, and other impacts, vibrations sometimes when it's done at night. So I've asked RG&E's team to come in tonight to talk not only about the reason they're asking for this amendment to allow night work, but also to give a presentation about the entire project to the community. As you will hear, the town also requested, and RG&E agreed, and they'll be holding a remote community meeting online on February 10th. And also, if the town board approves the resolution tonight, a formal public hearing that will be held on the proposed temporary noise law amendment at the town board meeting on February 23rd. So I will now turn the meeting over, I think, to Brittany Tate and Stacy Bartle to make that presentation, and Patrick Connolly, I'm not sure if you're part of the presentation as well, but in any event, I will turn it over to the RG&E team to talk about this project. And thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for bringing the community up to speed about this pretty significant project.
Yeah, thank you for having us. You kind of started to go over it, but I'd like to just start with our project team. So my name's Brittany. I am the owner's engineer and the project manager for this project. Stacy will be our main contact to the public. She is our public outreach specialist. We have Patrick Connolly with us, who is our consultant designer from DDS. And then additionally, my supervisor is on the call as well, Mike Dorfner. So to start, do I have access to sharing my screen? I don't know if I do, or we can just have a discussion.
I think you do.
Okay.
I have the presentation, Brittany, if you want me to share mine.
Sure, that would be great, Stacy.
Okay, let's do that. Okay. Can we see it?
Yep.
Awesome.
Okay. So we kind of went over this. This is our project team. If you could go to the next slide, Stacy. As the supervisor said, this is a pretty lengthy project that we're doing. So we are replacing the current gas main from Newton Drive right across from the high school up to the northern extent of Palmerston Road, just south of Highland. So we're looking at about a mile of replacement. And then specifically what we're here tonight to discuss is the night work that is being requested by the county and the state at the immediate 12 Corners intersection, which is this blue line depicted on the screen here. So that would be the southern limit of approximately Greenwich Drive to the northern limit of Chelmsford Road. The overall scope of our project is to replace a late 1940s 12-inch steel gas main with a more modern and current, up to current safety standards, 16-inch steel gas main. So that would be RG&E's initial scope, and then the county and the state have asked us to, as part of our project, mill and resurface the roadway from curb to curb through the whole project extents. So at the end, during our restoration phase, we will be doing that as well. As the supervisor said, we're looking to start in early spring, so April of this year, with completion at the end of construction season, in November of 2022.
Okay, at this point, we just want to take a minute to explain the public outreach effort and function. Our public outreach team has been developed in response to the need to do better in terms of communicating to our customers and letting them know what we're doing and getting their feedback, implementing it into our plans as we go. So as Brittany already introduced, I manage the public outreach efforts for RG&E. And as such, we have a very comprehensive and robust plan for this project. Our guiding principles are that we design with the community in mind. We take great efforts to put ourselves in the perspective of our impacted stakeholders. How would we feel if this was being done in front of our house, our backyard, our children's schools, our neighborhood, et cetera. We're committed to providing safe and reliable service to all our valued customers. Safety is paramount and is always, always, always our top priority. We're dedicated to being a good community partner, earning your trust, and working collaboratively throughout the project life cycle with all of our stakeholders. We prioritize sharing your perspective, and we believe in providing ongoing and transparent communication as we work to upgrade and maintain this gas project on your behalf. So just so you know where our main values and our priorities are. So project challenges, as the supervisor said, this is a big project. There's no doubt about it. It's going to take place in a densely populated and extremely heavily traveled roadway. We've got, the 12 corners, 3 adjacent intersections, and we've got an extremely high volume of foot traffic and motor traffic, cars and such. We've got our walkers, we've got our pedestrians, we've got our crossing guards. Just about everything that we could have right there in that area, we've got. We've got a very engaged and vocal residential population. We've got a lot of commercial businesses. We're working with the chamber. We've got the schools, the high school, the middle school. We've got buses, walkers, extracurricular activities, sporting events. We've got our public safety agencies, our fire, police, and ambulance. And then we've got the one-offs, the 5K, the farmers market, all sorts of activities to take into account and consider. So why are we doing all this? What's in it for everybody here? Well, the upgraded system will improve the safety and reliability of the entire gas main due to more stringent safety standards in effect now as compared to those when the system was initially installed in the late 1940s. Increased reliability will be produced as the potential for gas leaks and inefficiencies are minimized. All good news there. There will be no noticeable above grade changes or impacts to the construction area, and the new gas system will safely provide exceptional service to the community for many, many years to come. So we're not going to have to go through this again anytime soon. We're going to provide all sorts of communication channels to our public. We've got a specific project phone number dedicated exclusively to this project, which will provide 24/7 response. We have a public outreach email, and we also have ongoing updates on our website at rgne.com under the reliability projects section. Then for our town officials and public service use, Brittany and I will make, and whoever our field construction manager, when that person is assigned, we will make our personal cell phones available to those people for urgent matters. And then this has another listing of our informational resources. We have a project fact sheet, which I can share in a minute, and there's an image of it on my next slide. That's on our website. It will also be included in all mailings to the impacted stakeholders. An FAQ document is in production right now, frequently asked questions, kind of the who, what, when, where, why kind of thing. We will post regular project updates on our website. And as I showed on the previous slide, we have a dedicated email and phone number, which go directly to me. And then we have our construction and notification update letters prior to construction, during construction, for anything out of the ordinary, whether it's extended work hours or, one-offs, maybe a Saturday here or there, or any kind of thing like that. We will communicate that well in advance so that people can plan accordingly. Door hangers for those people that may have their driveway or their sidewalk impacted for a few hours or something like that. We're hitting it from all different directions so that everybody's informed and there are no surprises whatsoever. We don't want anybody blindsided or surprised or said they didn't know about it. So we're working with the town and the supervisor to make sure that we're doing all our due diligence and informing everyone who needs to know. So this is kind of a snapshot of our fact sheet here. I know it's a little hard to see, but it's a two-sided branding kind of marketing tool of sorts, but it's in layman's terms. It's not technical in nature, but it's chock full of very useful, let me make it a little bigger for you, information, the project overview, our scope, the benefits to the region. We've got our timeline here, we've got the map, and above all, we've got our contact information here, all sorts of different channels so people can contact us. So that's the presentation that we like to share with our major stakeholders. We also have another presentation that we would be showing at the public hearing. I don't want to go through all of this and take up too much time, but it's basically what you just saw. It's just kind of in a more condensed format for our for the public meeting attendees. Same information, nice and clear, factual, all the different channels of communication of that sort. So like I said, we're going to great pains to make sure everybody is aware, opening up our conversation to take their input, consider concerns and contingencies and planning accordingly.
Great, thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Brittany. Members of the town board, do you have any questions that you would like to ask? Obviously, we'll have an additional opportunity in a few minutes when we get to the item of new business, but if there are any issues you want to address now, whether it's specifically related to the night work or other aspects of the project. Stacy, one question I had, the cell phone that you referenced, will that be the cell phone that would be used to, if there's an immediate, for example, if the backup alarm on one of the trucks is stuck and going off and we get calls saying we're all being wakened up by this backup alarm that won't stop, is that the number that we here at the town would call to alert you to that problem? Or will, I mean, and let me just say, not just us, that a resident, that
Sure.
that the poor resident who is wakened up at 2 in the morning, is that the number that will be publicized to them that they would call?
Yes.
Or
yes,
okay.
This 888-364-5554 number. It is our intention to have someone fielding those calls 24/7. So during the day, it will be Brittany and I most likely, and then during the night hours, it will be our field construction manager.
Wonderful, thank you.
You're welcome.
I know it's not directly related to the noise issue, but you did address another issue that I had raised with a change in the traffic plan. If you don't mind, if you can talk just a little bit about your detour plans for traffic on Winton.
Sure. So this plan is not set in stone. We've reached out to the other agencies, being the City of Rochester and the State DOT, to ask if we can use their right of ways for a detour around our work zone. So if we're looking at the project map here, our newest goal for that, granted we get approval from all of the other agencies, would be to have a normal flow of northbound traffic along Winton Road during our construction hours. And then anybody who would be heading southbound on Winton Road would detour west on Highland and then southeast on Monroe, where they could get to any northbound businesses or residences by taking that slight detour and then heading north to get into those places. And then southbound traffic would be slightly detoured around and then would continue south once they got back to that intersection at Winton. So that is what we're looking to do for the majority of our day work now. That is in quite preliminary stages as far as reaching out to those other agencies, but Patrick can speak a little more about maybe how far we are along with that and thus far.
At this point, we have verbals from the agencies involved because we are going down a city street, being Highland Ave, the State Road, Monroe Ave, and working with the town, of course, and the county route too. All of these agencies need to provide some level of approval of what we are doing, and each one has been approached verbally, and we are putting it together a formal set of plans for submission now for approval.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I appreciate your responsiveness to what was a pretty significant concern of mine, the impact of if there was traffic being flagged so close to the 12 corners, how likely it was that it would back up into and through the 12 corners, causing even greater traffic disruption on Monroe and Elmwood. So thank you for doing that outreach. And I trust that our friends at the city and the state DOT will, that everybody will be able to work out a plan that works. And of course, I appreciate the fact that there won't be any official detours through the neighborhoods. We know that projects like these can be challenging for neighborhoods, not only because of the direct impact, but also because sometimes people unfortunately use neighborhood streets to avoid it. I'll just say, and I know Chief Cathaldi is here tonight, when there was a detour a couple of years ago on Winton Road because of work on the bridge and culvert over Buckland Creek near Greenwich, and traffic was rerouted. The police department was very vigilant in terms of policing the neighborhoods and wrote a whole bunch of tickets. So I'll just put that in everybody's mind that if there is, assuming that there is a detour, please use the official detour, and please don't feel like you gotta speed up to make up for whatever 15-30 seconds of lost time. Plan for it. This is going to be a significant project. It will, I know, have some significant and challenging impacts on all of us. But safety, like you said, I hope that everybody will keep safety front of mind throughout this work. Any other questions that board members have or staff? has.
Supervisor, this is Town
Ken.
Attorney Ken Gordon. If I could just ask a couple questions about sequencing. It sounds to me like we have a project here that might be lasting about 7 months or so. Does anyone from RG&E have a sense as to the sequencing of when the night work in that 7-month period is likely to take place? Is it going, because it's in the close proximity to the schools, is it going to take place after the end of the school year and before the beginning of the fall school year? Or what are your plans relative to sequencing?
So we don't have a contractor on board to get definitive timelines, but we are going to work the project from the northern end to the southern end, ideally targeting any work in the 12 corners and south of there to be while school is out. That would be the main gas work portion, just due to sequencing. Some of the milling and resurfacing will likely happen after school starts again, just due to the duration of the project. So while we're not exactly sure, if they'll be there May or May, June, July in that intersection and south of there, that is what we've committed to do, is not working in front of the school as much as possible and fitting that work in during the summer months.
And just something to think about as you're developing that schedule. Typically, we see night work commence around the 6 or 7 o'clock evening hour and end around the 7 a.m. morning hour. If the contractor is in proximity to the school during the school year, it might be beneficial to have them stop work no later than about 6 in the morning, because the school area does get busy around 7 a.m.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And I think that was the intention, was to be, out of the roadway and try to not affect morning traffic from cleaning up from our night work.
And then the last thing I would just suggest is please do take a look at the draft local law that we have put together for the town board to set a public hearing on tonight. Obviously, that public hearing is not going to take place until February 23rd, but if you have questions or input relative to the terms of that local law, because there are a bunch of conditions in there that will be imposed on RG&E and its contractors, please do get in touch with either the supervisor or me.
Okay, well, I will note that. Thank you.
And just to follow up on that, currently our plans call for the end of night work to stop at 6 a.m.
Okay, good. And I know there has been now some dialogue with the school district, and that, of course, will be ongoing as well, just to make sure that the unique concerns that the district has with 2 buildings, staggered start times, and so many people walking, crossing guards, will all be addressed as part of the work. And that continued outreach with them and with us is important, but it's appreciated.
Absolutely, yes.
Anything else that anybody has? Any questions or comments or concerns? Then, if you don't mind, I would ask that you at least stay with us until we take action on that, setting the public hearing for the local law, and we'll try to get you there as quickly as possible after our committee reports.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we will now